Dusk paints amber streaks across the vibrant neighborhood where Aisha Reynolds, a 30-year-old African-American Army captain, jogs to unwind. Her boots pound the asphalt. Dog tags jingle under her jacket, jazz humming in her earbuds. With eyes sharp as blades and a body forged in battle, Aisha embodies resolve, a soldier sworn to justice. But tonight, her run, her sanctuary, is torn apart. Near a street corner, patrol lights glare harshly. Aisha slows, her soldier's instincts flaring. Mr. Amos, a fruit vendor whose cart anchors the block, trembles under pressure. Officer Dukes, a hulking cop with a sneer like a fist, kicks the cart, mangoes spilling. "Clear this trash, old man," Dukes barks. Amos, gray curls tight, holds up his permit. "I belong here," Dukes scoffs, venomous. "Your kind doesn't." Aisha's heart pounds. The insult stabs, echoing age 11 when she was called thief for her skin. She sprints forward, planting herself between them. "Back off," she says, voice icy, a captain's command. Dukes glares, sweaty jacket, black skin, no uniform. "Keep running, lady," he growls. "This is my business now," Aisha retorts, eyes locked on his. A crowd gathers, phones flickering. A storm brews. Will Aisha stand firm or be swept away? Stay tuned, hit like, and see her fire ignite. Aisha Reynolds was forged in the city's gritty alleys, where hope mingled with hardship. Her family's modest apartment, walls peeling but warm, smelled of collard greens and echoed with love. Her mother, a nurse, stitched compassion into her soul. Her father, a bus driver, taught her to push through dawn's chill. Outside, prejudice prowled. Neighbors crushed by landlords, black skin drawing cold stares. At 11, a shopkeeper tailed Aisha, snarling, "Thief!" That sting lit a fire. She'd never kneel to hate. School tested her. Classmates jeered her patched clothes, but Aisha's mind was a weapon. She pored over books by flickering streetlight, her essays on fairness, quieting taunts. At 15, she defied a coach who sidelined her for attitude, rallying her track team to victory, her stride a rebuke. ROTC beckoned at 16, its rigor matching her resolve. A recruiter scoffed she'd crack under pressure, but Aisha excelled, her silence louder than his doubts. At 18, the Army claimed her, a scholarship paving her path from pavement to barracks. Bias clung close. Drill sergeants pushed her harder, a peer whispered she'd fail. Aisha proved them wrong, leading a squad through Kabul's chaos at 24, saving lives under fire, earning captain's bars and a scar. Home, slights persisted. A clerk's wrong address jab, a soldier's lucky break sneer. She bore them, her purpose clear, protect her people, her streets. Those streets shaped her core. Memories of her father's calloused hands, her mother's late shifts, drove her. The shopkeeper's hiss still echoed, fueling her vow to shield the vulnerable. Aisha wasn't just a soldier. She was her block's heartbeat, sworn to lift those crushed by the same scorn she'd outrun. Her past wasn't baggage. It was armor for battles like tonight's. Aisha Reynolds starts her day as dawn gilds her small apartment. At the Army base, she's a captain, her orders crisp. Drills honed, supplies checked, recruits steadied by her calm. Her voice, firm yet warm, sparks grit in young soldiers. Dusk calls her to the streets. Jogging past vendors' shouts, murals pulsing with survival, fry oil scenting the air. Running is her release, dog tags clinking, each stride shedding the day's weight. Her neighborhood is her soul. Sundays, she's with her parents, their home rich with cornbread and tales that anchor her. She coaches track for kids like Trey, her cousin, a lanky teen eyeing engineering. "Go, Cap!" they yell as she runs by, a vendor tossing her a mango. Block parties hum with laughter, Aisha grilling ribs, knitting neighbors tight. Yet unease creeps. Cops circle, their gazes snagging Trey's hoodie, mirroring stares she knew as a child. Nights, her apartment glows. Jazz spins, her journal fills with dreams. Youth hubs, vet funds, justice for the forgotten. She guides teens, arming them against bias, her words a shield. Prejudice nicks her. A guard's show ID despite her rank, a waiter's hesitation. Aisha lets it slide, heeding her parents. Uplift the weary. She buys a rookie's meal, checks on a widow, her kindness a quiet current. This life, base, block, kids, is her stake. Losing it would gut her. The street's rhythm, Trey's trust, her parents' pride, all hang fragile. She senses cracks. Cops' eyes linger too long, whispers of trouble trail her. Tonight, as she jogs, seeking the block's pulse, Aisha doesn't know the test awaiting, one that could shatter her peace or forge it anew. Twilight drapes the block in fiery orange, kids' giggles mixing with salsa from a corner radio. Aisha Reynolds jogs, breath even, jazz thrumming in her earbuds. Patrol lights slash through, sharp as knives. She slows, soldier's instincts kicking in. Under a street lamp, Mr. Amos, fruit vendor, his cart a neighborhood cornerstone, stands trembling. Officer Dukes, broad as a linebacker, eyes gleaming contempt, kicks the cart. Mangoes tumble, wood creaks. "Move this junk, old man," Dukes shouts, voice a blunt club. Amos, gray curls taut, raises his permit, hands unsteady but resolute. "I'm legal, sir." Dukes laughs, venom thick. "Legal? People like you don't belong here. Beat it, or I'll make you." The words slice. Not just Amos, but the block. Every soul like her, like Trey, dismissed for their skin. A crowd gathers. Lena, a mother clutching her stroller. Trey, phone in hand. A mechanic wiping grease-stained fingers. They're hushed, but phones flicker to life. Aisha halts, pulse racing. She's 11, tailed in a store, branded thief, shame scorching her. She won't let Amos break. Striding forward, she plants herself between them. "Stand down," she commands, voice cold, a captain's edge. Dukes pivots, eyeing her. Sweat-soaked jacket, black skin, no uniform. "Get lost, lady," he snarls, hand grazing his radio, a veiled threat. "This concerns me now," Aisha says, gaze unwavering. "He's got rights. Name his crime." Dukes closes in, breath hot, face reddening. "Crime? I say he's garbage. You too." The insult lands like a slap, stirring every slight she's endured, sneers at her bars, whispers of lesser. Trey films, hands trembling, eyes fierce. Lena murmurs to a bystander, "He's out of line." Aisha stands rigid, fists clenched, but inside, fury battles caution. She aches to act, to shield Amos, yet a false move could cost her rank, her name, his hope. "You're wrong," she says, voice steady but sharp as a blade. "Amos is one of us. You're the problem." Dukes smirks, stepping closer, towering over her. "Problem? This is my street, not yours." His hand twitches, itching for control. The crowd tightens, phones glowing brighter. Trey whispers, "Got it all." Lena's stroller rattles as she shifts, voice low. She's got him. Aisha feels the weight. Amos's trembling hands, the block's eyes, her own past screaming for justice. She won't back down, but the air crackles, Dukes poised to strike, the street teetering on a knife's edge. The air thickens, patrol lights sweeping like blades. Aisha Reynolds stands guard over Amos, who's nearly buckling, hands clutching his cart like it's his dignity. Dukes, face red, steps into her space, breath heavy with coffee and contempt. "Who do you think you are?" he roars, jabbing her chest. "Some black chick teaching me the law?" The words whip, the crowd murmurs. Lena grips her stroller, Trey films, eyes flashing worry. Aisha clenches her fists, shoulder throbbing from an earlier shove, but her gaze never wavers. "Release him," she says, voice low but sharp, each word a bullet. Dukes laughs, harsh and loud. "Release? I'll lock you both up." He grabs Amos's shirt, yanking hard, fabric tearing. Amos stumbles, hands scraping the cart, eyes pleading with Aisha. The crowd stirs, A teen shouts, "What did he do?" But Dukes bellows, "Shut it, or you're all cuffed." He kicks the cart, wood splintering, mangoes rolling across the sidewalk. Lena cries out, "Stop!" But her voice fades in the wind. Aisha's heart storms. She wants to charge, use her soldier's strength to floor him, but visions flash. Her mother's worry, her hard-earned bars. One misstep could ruin her. But Amos, his mangoes, his stories of his grandson, demands she act. "You have no right," she says, stepping closer, narrowing the gap. "Amos has a permit. You're abusing power." Dukes lunges, shoving her hard, her shoulder slamming the patrol car, pain searing. "Wanna play, huh?" he hisses, hand on his cuffs. Aisha staggers, but stands, eyes ablaze. "I'm not playing," she snaps, voice cold as steel. "I'm ordering you to stop, now." The crowd tightens, phones glowing. Trey yells, "Keep filming!" Lena pulls a teen back, whispering, "She needs us." The mechanic steps up, voice low. He's wrong. Dukes doesn't yield. He grabs Amos, dragging him to the cruiser, its door gaping like a shark's maw. "You're done, lady," he sneers, kicking at Aisha's knee. She dodges fast, combat instincts sharp, but holds back, for now. "You're digging your grave," she says, voice steady but trembling with rage. Backup sirens wail closer, red lights flashing. Dukes laughs. "Think you'll win? You or me?" He shoves Amos into the car door, Amos's hand smacking the frame, a pained gasp escaping. Aisha breathes deep, heart drumming. She sees Trey, his eyes full of trust. Lena, trembling but firm. She can't let them down. "Release him," she repeats, voice now a command, no longer a request. Dukes spins, fist raised, poised to explode. The street pulses, all eyes on Aisha. A black woman, unarmed, armed only with will. The climax looms, and she knows. This moment will define her. The street quakes, patrol lights a battle line. Aisha Reynolds stands tall, eyes locked on Dukes as he raises his fist toward her. Amos, pressed against the cruiser, gasps, eyes begging. Dukes roars, "Want to die?" and charges, kicking hard at her stomach. Aisha moves like a warrior. She spins, grabs his leg, twists fast. Dukes crashes face first, dust billowing. The crowd gasps, then erupts in shouts. "You're insane!" Dukes screams, scrambling up, grabbing for cuffs. He lunges, swinging a punch. Aisha blocks, elbow jarring from the force, but she doesn't budge. Cobble flashes. Night ambush, her strength forged there ignites. "Let him go," she yells, shoving Dukes back, shoulder aching, but heart ablaze. He kicks again, aiming for her chest. Aisha dodges, grabs his arm, yanks hard. Dukes stumbles, crashing into the cruiser, cuffs clattering to the ground. The crowd roars, "Free Amos!" Trey films, eyes bright with pride. Lena shouts, "She's right!" Aisha breathes deep, pulls her military ID, holding it high like a flag. "Captain Aisha Reynolds, U.S. Army," she says, voice cutting through backup sirens. "You're breaking the law. Release him, now!" Dukes falters, eyes darting as crowd phones aim like rifles. "You," he stammers, face paling, power crumbling. Aisha steps forward, shielding Amos. "You've lost," she says, voice low but sharp. The crowd closes in. Lena, Trey, the mechanic, strangers, chanting, "Our street!" Backup cops park, hesitating under the collective force. Dukes, alone, releases Amos, retreating, hands shaking. "Scram," he mutters, voice hollow. Aisha steadies Amos, his grip tight on her, eyes shining gratitude. Cheers explode, fists raised. Aisha stands, shoulder sore, but heart light. She didn't just save Amos. She challenged a system, rising for every diminished soul. Trey hugs Amos. Lena nods, phone still glowing. Dukes climbs into his car, his gaze fearful, no longer scornful. Aisha holds her ID, not for show, but to remind. She's a shield, and this street will never bow again. Dawn breaks, the block vivid as if no storm had passed. Dukes's cruiser is gone, leaving Aisha Reynolds beside Amos's cart, now upright, mangoes neatly stacked. Amos, shirt torn but eyes bright, grips her hand. "You gave me life," he says, voice thick. The crowd disperses, but their eyes, Lena, Trey, the mechanic, carry sparks. Phones still glow, last night's video spreading like wildfire. By noon, the clip floods the city. Through bodegas, laundromats, social media, people share, outraged. "He called Amos trash," a post screams. Locals march to the precinct, signs scrawled, "Justice for Amos." Dukes is suspended. The police bureau launches an investigation, pressured by voices once silent. Amos returns to his cart, smile bolder, talking of a new stall for his grandson. "Aisha made me dream," he says, pressing a mango into her hand. Aisha doesn't rest. Dukes was a symptom, not the disease. She opens Street Anchor, a small hub by the tracks, where she teaches kids like Trey to face injustice. Sundays, she stands at a chalkboard, voice firm. "Your rights are light. Don't let anyone dim them." Lena joins, sharing tales of scorn, her cornbread warming the room. The mechanic builds study desks. Trey journals that night, his words inspiring peers. A grocer, citing Amos, defies a cop's baseless fine, and wins. The wave spreads. A teacher forms a youth council, protecting vendors. Kids run freer, elders linger without fear. Trey's essay wins a prize, paving his engineering path. Street Anchor becomes a flame. Lawyers offer free counsel, rights groups take notice. Lena leads evenings, her voice now strong, her son's smile radiant. The mechanic carves a crate by Amos's cart. For us. The block shifts, not just safer, but alive with belief. Aisha changes too. She fought on battlefields, but now sees her true call, to kindle, not just guard. She jogs nightly, the streets brighter, her journal bursting, tech labs, scholarships. Her father, over bean soup, grips her hand, eyes proud. At the base, recruits seek her, drawn to the captain who stood. She shares, not for glory, but proof. One act can turn the tide. The fight isn't over. Each kid's nod, each vendor's thanks, fuels Aisha. She knows justice isn't instant, but that night, a dodge, an ID, a crowd, planted seeds. Her block breathes stronger, and Amos, at his cart, is proof. One stand, and a city can rise. Aisha Reynolds didn't just fight. She lit a fire for justice from a fearful corner. One night, one choice, one dodged kick, she gave Amos dignity, Trey a voice, Lena courage, and the block hope. Her act didn't stop at the street. It spread through videos, study desks, dreams now daring to soar. She proved, injustice, even as bold as Dukes, can fall when we rise. This isn't just Aisha's story, it's yours. When bias bares its teeth, a sneer, a slur, a shove, what's your move? Silence, or standing tall like her, for the Amoses, the Treys? Justice isn't a distant wish. It starts with a word, a raised hand, a filming phone. Teach a kid their rights, call out wrong, hear a neighbor's pain. That's how we build equity, small as seeds, tough as iron. Aisha shows the power within, to shield, unite, create. Her block shines, proof we can claim our place. Take her spark, speak for the Amoses in your world. Ask, where's my line? Then act. Change waits for no one. Share this story. Let it echo in your talks, your streets, your heart. Join in, mentor a youth, walk for truth, or just see what's hidden. Hit like, spread it, stay for tales that wake courage. Let's make justice a street we walk, a harbor we hold for all.